Welcome to another episode of the Nintendo Powercast. It's Nintendo News Daily. We got all kinds of headlines to talk about, and there's a rumored GameCube leak that we're going to dive into, kind of our main topic of the night. So it's going to be a good time. I've seen a few people a little bit disappointed by this, and I think I might be a little bit in the same boat for what it could possibly mean, but again, only possibility. So we'll get into it. I see Steak is here. What is going on? Welcome on in, everybody. That's just jumping in. So glad to have you. And yeah, I think we got to get to the news. I got to make sure my screen is set up. Here we go. Now we can see everything. There's the news there. Perfect. Well, we're not starting with the GameCube rumor. No, 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 no. That's where we're ending. Uh Nadine is here. Cryptic is here. Darkus, what is going on? Hello, hello, hello. There was news today. Yes. Yes, 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 there was. So much stuff coming. Yeah. Does it feel to you guys like we're like coming at like it almost feels like it's a bit like there's been a direct. There's so much stuff that Nintendo is talking about, and it's like if there's a direct in a week and they're putting out all of these like Mario Wonders overview trailer, the Virtual Boy stuff we're going to talk about today, it just seems like there's there's so much that they're announcing. So Steak says feels like it's building up to me. Yes. Yes, yes, yes. Nate says not with the stuff that was announced. Oh, Nate is the party pooper. All I was thinking about was Nate while I was watching the Virtual Boy video today. But let's jump into this here. We're over on Nintendo Life. Nickelodeon Splat Pack revives multiple SNES titles in retro collection this week. Limited Run has confirmed that Nickelodeon Splat Pack is indeed coming out on the 30th of January, just as the eShop listing said. In case you missed it below, the collection will include Nickelodeon Guts, Real Monsters, and Rocco's Modern Life, Spunky's Dangerous Day. 3 Super Nintendo titles and Genesis/Mega Drive for the first game that weren't especially well received back in the day. But hey, nostalgia, right? Right? So Nate says, get the minimal stuff out of the way. Make room for the big news and drink. Absolutely. 1,000%. 1,000%. Cryptic says, I own Real Monsters SNES. There you go. There you go. It's a classic. It's a classic. I love that. I love it. Well, when I saw this headline, I was like, oh, we got to throw this in. I've not played any of these. I vaguely remember like seeing them, but as a child who grew up in the sticks and did not have cable, there was no Nickelodeon for me. That was a rare occasion to see Nickelodeon. So, Ink Goblin, what's going on? Says the newsman is here. I am here. Let's talk about this stuff. Let's talk about it. Well, Kirby Air Riders has been updated to version 1.3.0. We got the full patch notes, and guess what? It's more than just stability. Game Share has been added. Press the buttons at the bottom of the title screen to access Game Share screen, where you can choose between people nearby or game chat. So that's cool. That's going to get more people playing the game. New game mode, Grand Prix, is now available for air ride matches in the paddocks. Players will participate in multiple races where the winner is determined by overall points. Very cool. New rule set, sub-in series is now available in the paddocks. This allows for continuous matches while subbing in players. Also cool. 2 players can now participate in the paddocks and quick matches from a single Nintendo Switch 2 system. The popular search condition in the buy section of the machine market has been changed to random. The transfer stars bike type form can now be edited in My Machine Apply Decal screen. Once a decal is applied to a transform star, it will either form. In either form, you will not be able to edit decals with the other form until all existing decals have been removed. So Number of things in City Trial. You can now tilt the left stick down or uh, press the down button to discard a copy ability without triggering your special. That's cool. This version is now displayed in the lower left corner of the screen after crossing the finish line in Time Attack. Withdrawing or otherwise disconnecting during an online match in a friends only paddock will no longer subject you to penalties. So there you go. There you go. Um, did I retract? Uh-oh. Here we go. That's I'm just catching up on chats here real quick. New year, new Nate. Yeah, there we go. I love it. I love it. Well, this got tweet like I got as soon as I ended the stream yesterday. As soon as I ended the show yesterday, this showed up as a notification that the WarioWare's original soundtrack has been added to Nintendo Music. So, you're looking at 356 tracks with a runtime of 2 hours and 15 minutes. 356 tracks. I see Brandon is here. What's going on? So there you go. WarioWare Inc. Mega Micro Games. This one, like, okay. This came out yesterday. Nintendo tweeted about it right before this show went live, which I thought was crazy. Here's something I find absolutely hilarious. You guys can let me know what you think. If you go to the Nintendo app daily, Nintendo Today, almost every day there's Wario's aroma of the day with just his large hiney as like the thumbnail. And I'm just like, what? Like, this has got to be like, for a company that is like, relatively primp and proper, besides searching anything with the letter H in the eShop, that's so strange to me that we have Wario's aroma of the day. It's very strange, very very strange. So, Charles, I saw we're gonna talk about that. That's in the list, so it's a good question. Steak said, yeah, they usually do announcements like Nintendo Music or NSO drops when Nintendo Prime goes live. Yep, there you go. There you go. So, moving along here. The sweatiest game on the Switch 2 and the Switch 1 just got sweatier. Splatoon 3 version 11 update launches this week. Here are the full patch notes. It's kind of big. It's kind of big. So there's some changes to multiplayer that we'll talk about here. So players will now gain flow aura when they do well in battle, such as defeat opponents consecutively within a short period of time. The flow aura lasts for a short amount of time. While players' floor aura persists, its duration will be extended slightly whenever they defeat an opponent of their teammates or their teammates defeat an opponent they've damaged. When a player gains this aura or extends duration of their aura, the ground at the player's feet will be inked with their color. And so, while aura persists, the run speed up, swim speed up, ink resistance up, and intensify action abilities will be applied. Continuously getting assists with your allies or inking territory during battles will make it more likely to gain flow aura when defeating opponents. This like the what I find interesting is a lot. I've seen quite a few casuals. I would say casuals. I'm guessing, like, put out some posts about this, saying that they're not like, this game is already probably the sweatiest game Nintendo makes, and this almost encourages even more sweatiness. Now, it's competition, right? Like, good. Like, I think it's great. This game gets so much love, and I'm here for it. But show that same kind of love to Mario Kart. Let's go. Come on. Let's see this kind of love sent over to Mario Kart World. All right. I don't play this game enough to like have like too much of an opinion on it. The game is like, Splatoon 3 has always been sweaty to me. Always been sweaty. So, like, I'm honestly kind of excited to try this. Like this update makes me wants to pop the game in and give it a go and see what this like. How many triple kills am I going to pull off? Like, probably not a ton, but I'm I'm still very curious just to see how this goes and and what how much of an advantage will it give your team if you can get this. I'm I'm very curious, like, where the idea came from. Like, were they seeing something in their data that they're like, "Yo, this might improve some things," but I'm not quite sure, like, what would be w what would be needed here? Is this just to give it a little fresh paint? Like, just to refresh the game a little bit and add some new flair? Like, I don't I'm trying to think, like, there's it's I remember trying to get nukes in, like, Call of Duty, right? 25 kills without dying. Uh, and that was always fun to do. Very tough to do, but it was cool, right? To see that kinda stuff. And so, I'm hoping this is, it's something that adds to the overall fun of the experience, but I'm curious on, like, esports wise, like, does it change up the strategy? Are you like, "Yo, you" like, there's already different roles, right, that people take in this game, but now does that change up even more? And maybe it adds maybe it freshens things up a bit. And this game's all about fresh, right? I mean, it's all about fresh. It's Splatoon. So, uh, okay, I want to grab some chats here. Steak says, "Do hate the H games still show up in the eShop in recent releases. Great deals and coming soon. Uh, bloats those, so I end up scrolling forever for larger, more mainstream games. Oh yeah, for sure. Ink Goblin says Kirby Air Riders is getting pretty sweaty. There you go. I believe it. Nate says I like Splatoon, but man, I feel lazy to open the game and hear them too stupid in the beginning talk for 22 minutes. They need a way to skip that. I believe I believe you can click the stick in and it moves it to a podcast. So they still just continue talking, but you can go and get into your game quicker. I don't know if that's every time or the first time or the second time you turn it on. I just know I've activated it a few times because, yeah, I'm not a huge fan of that either, where they just sit and blab forever. So, uh, Steak says I never got into Splatoon. It's fun. It's a, like, if, if I had the time and I really wanted to focus on just Nintendo competitive games, it would just be Smash, Mario Kart, and Splatoon for me, and I would just play those like no life those games. Like and I would have a great time with it. A great time with it. Splatoon is fantastic. I will say this though. I wish I wish Nintendo had a more mature shooter, you know, similar to uh like GoldenEye, Perfect Dark, something along those lines. I wish they had something like that. I mean, of course we have Metroid, but that's more of like your single player cinematic. I'm talking like a more mature multiplayer shooter would be fantastic. So, let's see. I see Lion Stars here. What's going on? Good to see you. Welcome on in. Cryptic said they updated to where you can skip it now, at least for Splatoon 3. That is correct. Yes. Yeah. I thought it was there for a while, but it like sometimes it doesn't activate. I think like after a Splatfest, maybe when they're going over who won. I think you have to watch that one. So I'm not sure. I don't play the game enough to know, but you can skip some of that opening. So who knows? Maybe that'll get you playing that one again. There's a ton of weapon changes. I mean, quite a few. The list is pretty big. So um, they've also changed this to Splatnet 3. Like and then some bug fixes. Like there's quite a bit. This is a pretty big update for Splatoon 3. So, and that's going to be coming out on the 29th. So I'm going to update. I'm going to jump in and check it out and see, just see how the games go. Nate says Splatoon 3 is all you played. Yeah, jump in. Jump back in. I know I'm going to. Maybe we'll team up. Maybe we'll team up. So, be good. Well, this morning, you guys, Nintendo announced the launch lineup for Switch Online Virtual Boy, and It's basically a third of the Virtual Boy library, and so you're gonna see Galactic Pinball, um, Roboxer, which is a fun name to say, Red Alarm, Virtual Boy Wario Land, 3D Tetris, Golf, and Mansions of Innsmouth. And so they mentioned some other games that will be coming, like Mario Tennis, Jack Bros, and then two never before released games, Zero Racers and Dragon Hopper. And so we'll get more into those later. But I watched this, and the only thing I'm thinking was, what they do to capture this footage? Because can I stream this? Can I capture footage with this? What is it going to look like? Is there something I can do in post production to make this work? One of the things that I thought was a pretty cool feature that they're adding, of course, rewind is going to be there. That's great. But you can actually change the color of the screen now. So you don't have to just play with the red. You can play in like black and white, like similar to a Game Boy. So maybe that will cut down on the migraines a little bit. I'm not sure, but possibly. Uh, Cryptic said people are really going to be excited for Virtual Boy monthly games. Said I'm confused on why it's just not the entire library at launch. That's never how these things work. Nady Day said, "Gotta keep you subscribed to that dumb Virtual Boy." Here we go. Here we go. It like I think for me, the thing that excites me about this is just the history of it, right? I've wanted to collect Virtual Boy for a long time, like pick up the system, start collecting the games. I spot the games periodically, but I usually just end up passing on them or I forget to grab them before I leave a retro game shop. And so this like I'm kind of excited for this. It's very much a novelty. It's very much a display piece, and and some of the games honestly look horrible. Like 3D Tetris to me looks not good, not good. The Mansions of Innsmouth like it didn't look too great. Roboxer, that kind of it's got punch out vibes, so it could have a little bit of fun to it. Galactic Pinball, that one looked okay as well, something that I might actually play. Um, Red Alarm, I it you know, it was it it I'm not really sure on that one. Um, Wario Land, kind of curious as well. Golf, also very strange. You're like it's like painting the ball on where you're gonna hit the ball. Nate said no need to explain. Judgments are there already. No, it's fine. Bring the judgment. I don't it's all good. This is a safe place for judgment. Steak said Virtual Boy NSO slow drops games over the next 10 years. Yeah, for sure. For sure. But yeah, so I mean, honestly, the games that I was the most excited for is the Mario Clash or whatever. That's the one that looks to be the most fun. Wario Land might be okay. Uh, so and Wario seems to be getting some love lately. We talked about it. We talked about the music being added. He was just added to GameCube NSO, and he's coming out before Mario on this with this Virtual Boy. And so, uh, do you guys like when you think about this system? It's and I want to get into the history of it. I think if I remember correctly, it may have been kind of a similar situation to the Power Glove, where it was like what they were going for versus what they could actually do to sell at a profit did not work out. Did not work out at all. And I want to dig a little bit more into the history, but like part of me just kind of wonders about the thinking with this. Now, like, the Game Boy was was fantastic, right? You're talking about just a huge hit, but it was portable. You could take it with you on the go. Uh and this is like you're going to set this on a table because I mean, if you think about it, when this system launched, people weren't really sitting at setups. I mean, there were computers but like, your 486, they weren't like super readily available to people, right? And so like you're so used to playing two-player stuff. The Game Boy has the link cable, all that stuff, and then here, go and experience this completely like solitary gaming with this red, VR thing. And so I get so curious. Like what it tells me is that even the biggest of companies can still have misses, you know. And from what I do know of the history, Gunpei Yokoi was kind of shamed for the Virtual Boy and it not doing well, and the fact that it like, you're talking about somebody who, you know, was helping out Shigeru Miyamoto with Super Mario Brothers and coming up with Donkey Kong and the Game Boy. I believe he was the father of the Game and Watch, and and then he has essentially this stain on his resume, and um and it's very interesting within the culture. He wasn't, from my understanding, and I'm a little bit. It's been a minute since I've jumped into the history on this, but it wasn't good for him, which is was just unfortunate. But and I mean, obviously hindsight's 2020. But I remember when this got announced, and I was like, I don't like, it has Nintendo's name on it, and I remember seeing commercials for it, but I was just like, I mean, maybe I want this, but it didn't feel like something I had to rush out and get. So, Lionstar says, I have a Virtual Boy I bought from someone. It has a few games, and the ribbon cable was repaired because they are notorious of failing. I played the crap out of Red Alarm. It kind of reminds me of Star Fox. Oh, okay. So that's the one. I couldn't remember what the gameplay was for Red Alarm. Yes, it did have some Star Fox vibes, no doubt. So, it also, in the box art, kinda looks like Solar Striker, which is not a game I hear mentioned very often, but I believe it is a Nintendo first party. It was on the Game Boy, which I don't know why it's not on NSO. But it is very fun. Like, it's a very fun game, and just a quick little side note, if you guys ever come across Fourth and you have a Game Boy, try that game. Like, I would love to see them get that game on NSO. It is like, it's kind of like Tetris meets, uh, like a top-down shooter. You essentially shoot, squares to create squares or rectangles, and there's, like, Tetris shapes coming at you, but you complete them by shooting the squares into 'em. It's so fun. I have it on my 3DS. And it's a fantastic, like a puzzler shooter. It's hard to explain, but so good. It'd be so fun to see that on NSO because it's really great. Stakes says we have so many consoles, they barely drip games out on NSO, in my opinion. Um should have been a game cart included with purchasing the Virtual Boy standalone cardboard. No need to include it in NSO. Oh, just basically make it like one of the classic machines. Steak also said back when commercials were good. Oh yes. Oh yes. And Nintendo commercials were somewhat crazy back in the day. Like they were pretty crazy. No doubt. Especially like the Game Boy Mario Kart ones with like people just getting ruined. It's wild. Well, um, digging in a little further, the two canceled Virtual Boy games coming to NSO in 2026, including an F-Zero spin-off. And so, Zero Racers, according to the article by Nintendo Life here, was a pretty big deal for longtime Nintendo fans. This is a canceled F-Zero spin-off that was apparently shown off at E3 in 1996, but was canceled due to the failure of the Virtual Boy. A few years ago, a former Nintendo of America localizer said that the game was done, as in complete, and this release seems to confirm that. The latter game, D Hopper, is from Intelligent Systems, who was known for developing Fire Emblem and Paper Mario. D Hopper is very much its own thing. It was also playable at E3 1996. It's a top-down adventure game where you have to adventure through maze-like maps and fight enemies in order to rescue your girlfriend. A little Zelda-esque, perhaps. Now, what's funny, the moment I saw the gameplay for D Hopper, I was like, it almost looks like you're playing as a Mew, which is interesting. But the F-Zero game also looks somewhat like that Red Alarm game. Like it kind of looks like the Star Fox game. So it's also uh um it's also interesting. So let's see, grabbing some chats here. Let's see. Nintendo X2 Dope said he went on to make the Wonder Swan talking about Gunpei Yokoi. Yes, yes, absolutely. Absolutely. Nate said, I'd still prefer the if you're buying the goggles, let people purchase the games on the eShop. Yeah. Yeah, that's a good point. Like, what happens? I you know, it's a good point. If Nintendo ever goes away from Nintendo Switch Online being a thing, then um then I guess you just have the hunk of plastic, and if you yeah, who knows how they're gonna handle that one. It's very interesting. So, Cryptic says, "We get canceled Virtual Boy games, but can't get Mother 3 localized." There you go. This is the world we live in. That's right. That's right. Um, Nintendo X 2 said, "My friend and I have theorized Nintendo had him unalived in a car accident." That is a theory that goes around for sure. But what's interesting is the circumstances of that accident would have had to have been pretty like they would have had like the fact that he got out of the car and then was hit by the other car, like how would they have known he was going to get out of the car? Like I don't know. There's a lot to because I think he had a driver, but I've definitely heard these theories before. So let's see. Ben says, Why did they have to make it require Virtual Boy hardware to play? I guess money is always the answer. Yeah, and that's again, that's my question. Like they're showing captured footage of this, so how are they doing that? And is that something that I can figure out how to do, or that we can figure like because it's like if I want to play, I would much rather sit and play these games. Like I'm wondering if there's a way to put on you know like, if there's essentially glasses that could be made so that you could just see it on your screen. I don't know if that's the I don't quite understand the tech. Of course, once it all happens, like, I mean, I will figure out a way just to tape those goggles to my face if I have to, and then I'll stream it that way. If it will even shoot to your TV screen. I don't know. I don't know. I assume it will, but I don't know. But that's the other thing, like, they could have just made a set of glasses, uh, to be able to play them on your TV and not have to sit at this thing. So, like, someone will jerry rig to play it on a Quest. Yeah, that's gonna be me. I'm gonna figure it out. I'm gonna figure it out. We'll make a fun YouTube video about it. Um, Paradigm TV says, "Pretty sure there are already emulators that do it." Oh, for sure. I've seen them on 3DS. I've seen people playing all of these games on 3DS. So, Steak said, "I love the Virtual Console 3DS, where I could just outright buy old school games." For sure. Yeah. Yeah. Cryptic said, "I know you can switch the Virtual Boy colors. I wonder if it can help soothe the game, like smooth the games better. Potentially. Potentially, yeah. But yeah, make the 3DS tech, but in glasses form. Yep. Yep. Or Lion Star says, or just have it on your screen, full screen, or one big screen. Yeah, like I just don't know. I don't know the if I guess the reasoning would just have to be extra cash for hardware. But the reason I was leaning towards getting glasses, at least I could play it in my living room, right? Or play it at my setup and not have to sit and stare into the and they could still make their money. But ultimately, if including it in the subscription and then selling the plastic or the cardboard after the fact, Yeah, not, not super great. So, do Virtual Boy games ever have online multiplayer? I don't know if they could be linked together. I don't know the system that well. So, um, yeah, and Paradigm TV says exactly. I just want to sit back and play. Yep, no doubt. Steak said, "Did color blindness screw with some people with the black and red, like green red color blindness? Potentially, which may be why they're adding more colors like green. I think a yellowish color, like a black and white, kind of similar to the Game Boy. Nate said probably a scare tactic. You'll be able to play it just on TV without it. Well, and if I'm wondering, like, I remember when like VR was kind of becoming a thing where you could put your cell phone into the goggles, and what it would do is it would show two separate pictures, and so that get put together when you put the goggles on. So I'm wondering if it's still going to be playable, but just not ideal. And you know, it would be it would be a bit shady, but maybe if they don't sell a bunch of these things, they just eventually say, "Okay, here we came up with an update for this so that you can play them on the TV." Um, Cryptic said maybe it's a testing bed for 3DS. You should elaborate on that a bit because if I have to buy an adapter to play 3DS games on my NSO, I'm, oh, that would make me very sad. That's really no different than what I have now, other than the library would be a bit different from what I what I rent from them, essentially. So, well, Ubisoft increases Just Dance subscription prices in the wake of restructuring and cuts. So a 1 month pass is now $4.99. A 3 month pass is now $12.99. Used to be $9.99, and a 12 month pass used to be $24.99. Is now $29.99. I I don't think these are like bad prices whatsoever. I think what Just Dance Plus offers, I think it's a pretty cool deal. You can put in um, you can use games from as far back as 2023 to be able to, have a much larger library. So I think I've used this service before when we wanted to have certain songs available for get-togethers, and so, um, at least they don't seem to be too insane. Uh, I don't really I know very few people. I know Much Games, I've had him on the podcast, and he plays Just Dance, like, he's probably playing it on YouTube right now, honestly, like, I think Wednesdays is, like, his Just Dance day, I think, but, besides that, I don't know a lot of people. Virtual Fireball says Just Dance fell off, like, do you guys remember back in the day, like, you could buy, like, probably when the Switch was still out, you could buy Wii version of Just Dance, like, that they were the only ones making Wii games, it seemed like, for the longest. So, Steak says, "Does seem like something they'd add where you need an accessory to play. Hate that I'm thinking like this." So they increase the price of NSO, they can claim it as another thing they've added. Oh, going back to, like, the 3DS stuff. I hope not. Ugh, I hope not. I hope not. So, um, Nate says, "We're just dance people over here, not buying that crap every year, though." Okay. Yeah. Yeah, well, that's to me, that's what it was like. I don't necessarily care about a lot of the new tracks that they add to the modern games, but having access to the, most of the older library, depending on their licensing, and, I'm honestly just looking at Cotton Eye Joe because that's what we would play the most at, like, family gatherings. Um like, I thought this was great, and I love the fact that I could literally do it for a month if I needed to because it was, like, usually the month of December would be the family get-togethers that Just Dance would get played, and then outside of that, like, you know, it pretty infrequently, but just to throw another $4 or $5 at it, not a huge deal. So, and to me, what it says is this is still one of their most popular IPs, and so they're trying to milk a little bit more out of it, and, I get it, it's business. It's business. So, but they've also moved into where you can do it like some people just fire up YouTube videos and just watch the YouTube videos. You can do it on your phone at this point. Like they've really tried to monetize that in multiple ways. So this article made me super, super sad. Um, Backtracking a little bit to the opening of the show, Charles mentioned this as well, Charles Hart, and MLB The Show 26 skips Switch 2 release as Sony sticks with Switch 1. This this really made me sad. It really made me sad because I really wanted to uh, surprise my dad with a Switch 2 this year and a copy of this game so that um, we could play, using voice chat and not have to play. The reason is we played this on Switch when it first came out, and then I let him play it on Xbox, and he was like, "I like this version way better." Like that's there was like no chill whatsoever. He just was like, "This one's a lot better." I'm like, I know. It looks a lot less muddy for sure. And so, uh, it there was like I'll go back to Charles's comment up here. It says, "Why are third parties still having a hard time getting dev kits? Saw disappointing news. MLB The Show 26 on Switch, not Switch 2, probably because Sony that Sony game WWE 2K that's Sony's game WWE 2K26 coming to Switch 2 in March." Oh, yeah, yeah, yeah. Okay. So because it's a Sony's game, I understand. Because it's a Sony game, maybe yeah. But I mean, Sony is still doing this because they want like ultimately they want to make that they want to make that money. Maybe they're assuming it would undercut. Well, it's on Xbox though. So uh it could be install base issues. They're like they're not going to get enough return on their investment with the size of install base. Like I don't necessarily think it's a dev kit issue. I think it's all dollars and cents at this point. It's bottom line, right? And so if they're looking at the install base of Switch 1, knowing the kind of sales that they typically do for that system, and the much smaller install base of Switch 2 doesn't even is a fraction, then it may not be in their best interest until the install base is larger. And so like and maybe it's something that it will come out a bit later if 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 they're able you know, to do like an upgrade path or something like that. I don't know. But um let's see. Cryptic says, "Is this the first Switch 2 version?" So so here's what it says: with the arrival of Switch 2, we're finally getting some parity across multi-platform sports games across all consoles, with EA and 2K's offerings being much better than their Switch 1 counterparts. We thought we'd see the same from Sony's MLB The Show 26, which has been confirmed for March 17th release, alongside the reveal of the cover star Aaron Judge of the New York Yankees, who is returning to the front for the second time. But Sony Interactive Entertainment's next entry is opting to stay on Switch 1 and isn't coming to Switch 2 right now. Of course, it may be that the developer San Diego studio doesn't have access to Switch 2 dev kits, but it's rather strange decision from the outside. As usual, a gameplay reveal will follow next week on February 3rd, where we'll likely see a small glimpse of Switch gameplay. We're not holding our breath for any improvements, so maybe a Switch 2 port is coming later in the year. Besides that, pre orders for the standard and deluxe editions, the latter will grant you early access, allowing you to play the game from March 13th. Unlikely on Switch, of course. Open after the gameplay reveal on February 3rd at 12 p.m. At certain retailers, digital storefronts, and on the game's official website. So again, it like the article only says it may be that the developer doesn't have access to Switch 2 dev kits, so they don't like they're speculating as well. So there is no definitive answer as to why this is happening. Cryptic said maybe since it came out in June, the turnaround time would have been too fast to get it stable. Very possible. Uh, Steak said EA Didn't get Madden to be cross-platform because it's 30 FPS on Switch 2. Right. Um, Nate said literally all Sony San Diego does is MLB The Show, bunch of failures. Wow, no chill there. No chill there. I'm I hope we see like it does get some kind of like Switch 2 version later in the year. Um, because the moment it hits Switch 2 as a Switch 2 version, it is a 100% purchase for me. Honestly, 2 copies and and another console to send to my pops because I just don't know that he would play much of anything else. But I know, although I just picked up Space Invaders. He might play that one. Honestly, there's a pretty good chance. So that, and I think he would like Cast and Chill, but I'd have to convince him. So may have to take a drive and knock on the door. Do that, Nate. I see Boo Mini is here. Welcome on in. Welcome on in. Steak said deserved no chill, so he's on your side, Nate. He's on your side. Oh yeah. So kind of a bummer. Kind of a bummer there. Well, let's get into this rumor. And now I don't think this is much of a rumor. Okay. Usually, you guys know me. We try to stick like I won't like go over to like games, the gaming leaks and rumors like subreddit and start pulling stuff from there. But if it hits some of the news sites, we'll talk about it. And so this is from Nintendo. Like they have it labeled under a rumor, but like there's I think somebody either A made a mistake or B it sometimes I wonder if this stuff isn't if it doesn't happen intentionally just to keep conversation going, Nintendo Switch Online GameCube releases might have been leaked. So Walmart. This is they are the ones in trouble here, I guess. So Nintendo has accidentally leaked upcoming NSO games in the past, so it wouldn't necessarily be a surprise if the latest discovery led to the eventual release of the Switch 2 GameCube service. Of course, there's always a chance this could be some sort of blunder on Walmart's end. Well, here is some official promotional material has been discovered on Walmart's website alongside multiple existing releases. There are 2 GameCube games featured that haven't even been announced for the service. One being Pikmin 2 and 2 being Metroid Prime 2 Echoes. And I mentioned at the beginning of the show that one of them made me a little bit bummed out, and that would be Metroid Prime 2 Echoes. Now, this is the version of the game I would want to play over the Wii version because I don't want to play point and click with but after playing the remaster, you guys have heard me talk about it. If you've been listening for a while, you know how badly I've wanted a remaster of Echoes. Echoes is a game that I basically I hit a save point where I didn't have enough health and I couldn't beat a boss. And so I would have had to start the game over. I had already gotten pretty far into the game and I was like I ended up walking away from it. And so I'll play it here. I'll be glad that it is here. That being said, where's Melee and where is Mario Kart Double Dash? Right? Like we everybody wants those games. We really uh want those games. Now, Pikmin 2 is out on Switch already. You can get Pikmin 1 and 2 on Switch. So does that mean that there's no hope of a Metroid Prime 2 Echoes remaster? No. No. But it will be it would be cool to finally have it. But I mean the way it was I outside of a few just like dated elements of Metroid Prime, the remastered looked gorgeous. Looked gorgeous. So Nate said this has happened before with the N64. It's true. It's true. And I mean there was some sleuth work, right? With the N64 stuff where people were like taking a photo putting a gradient on it, then putting it on so they could see exactly what games were being blurred out in the background, and we saw a handful of titles. We talk about it regularly on the show. What is the hang up with the slow drip for this? I feel like they should just get to the point, like get those licensing deals done. Do Start doing bigger drops. Start doing bigger drops. Like first week of the month, NES, Game Boy. Second week of the month, SNES, Game Boy Advance. Right? Third week of the month, 64, and uh, and then the fourth week GameCube. Right? Like just keep them going. Keep them going. Keep those drops coming consistently. Now, maybe it is because of licensing deals and like if stuff we've already lost one game, the soccer game on the SNES, uh, and so maybe, but they've got plenty of first party stuff that we still haven't seen yet. So, Paradigm TV says like, is it really the port dev work taking this long? I don't know. A lot like there's a lot of these games that were already available on like the Wii U in the virtual console. So I don't know how difficult it is to just copy and paste it over. And I'm being sarcastic, of course, but like, but also I'm like, what, you know, uh, what is taking so long? The article also mentions the upcoming releases include Pokemon Coliseum for the more GameCube games, Pokemon XD Gale of Darkness, and Super Mario Sunshine. So Paradigm TV says, is there one guy working on these? Like maybe that is the case. That could be. Take says they still have the Pokemon games they announced. Yeah, we just the ones I just read exactly. That still have to come too. Yeah, and there's a lot of people waiting for Sunshine. It looked like Paradigm TV said Double Dash would be rad. I never got to play that one. It's one that like I didn't love when it came out, but every time I go back to it, I'm like, this is a solid game. I don't love the double cart thing because you guys know me about the pipe frame. Like, I don't even like the new parts in world, like the main part. Like, I'm kind of bummed. Like, I'm wearing my I live in my Mario Kart sweatshirt right now during these winter months, and I I don't love the way the new cart looks. I'm very particular about that stuff. So like, Mario and Luigi's cart kind of looked more like a wagon, and I'm like, this isn't Mario Kart. Like, what's going on here? So, Waluigi's cart I think was the closest to looking like an actual pipe frame. So I was like, can you just make them all look like that? Then I'd be a little bit more stoked on that. But the gameplay is really good. The items are really good. The characters are a lot of fun. Like I just wasn't a huge fan of the two players on the carts. So Nate says they have that unemployed guy working on them that doesn't even know he's unemployed yet, sitting in the corner with his red stapler. Right? That's definitely what's going on there. So uh, the other thing that we haven't really mentioned when it comes to NSO, I believe, like I mentioned earlier, Solar Striker. It's one of those games that I almost like consider like the Game Boy Black Box. Like I know that's not a thing, but like there are a handful of first party Game Boy games not there yet. There's still Black Box games that we don't have on NSO and for the NES even. I mean, that's obviously that's the Black Box games, but and I just wonder why. And then we start getting like some very obscure, even third party stuff when we're missing some of the original library. Also, what are they waiting for like the light gun games or Duck Hunt and Hogan's Alley and some of those games? Like the Joy-Con would work just fine. It's not ideal, but it would still work. You put a reticle on the screen just like they did for Duck Hunt on the Wii U. So there's still plenty of games that could be dropped into this thing that I I just wonder what the holdup is, you know? So, um, Boomini says, "Waluigi reminds me of Lord Licorice from Candyland." There we go. Love it. Love it. Paradigm TV says, "Are we already assuming that we get Mario and Luigi desert outfits and the bikes from the Galaxy trailer in Mario Kart World?" I believe the bikes are already there. I'm let's I'll fire up my copy of the game right now and tell you. But I think not only are the bikes there, I think I think the costumes are there. At least they're not identical, but they are they are close. So I'm just jumping into single player real quick here. And I can tell you the name of the costume. So if I sort Mario, let's see. Yeah. So Mario, actually I can show you guys. Give me one sec. I'll turn the camera on here. Um there we go. There it is. So let me turn this on. There we go. Okay. So let's make it this screen. Perfect. So as you can see, this Mario's got goggles on and he's he's his name is Dune Rider, right? So that to me is very much pointing towards the what we see in the movie. Not identical. Um Luigi has touring, but he doesn't have I don't think he has a Dune Rider. I don't believe. No, he's got all terrain, but um but there you go. So let's combine them. So if you mix Dune Rider with right here, the standard bike, the standard bike is super close to what they have in the movie. Like super close. It's got some like pipe frame elements to it. Like it's almost identical. So uh these almost feel a bit like Easter eggs to me. Like honestly. So anyway, that's just a quick little I picked up on this the other day. I was like, "Wait a minute. His name is Dune Rider and then the bike is very close." So, cool stuff there. The tires don't have all the knobs. Like they got very knobby tires in in the movie trailer. So, RX Gaming says I can't wait for the movie. Yo, so excited. So excited. Like um it's it's gonna be so good. I can't wait. Really looking forward to it. So wanted to say thank you guys so much for hanging out tonight. Appreciate you so very much. 8 p.m. Eastern, 5 p.m. Pacific on YouTube and Twitch. And as always, you guys, make sure to play it loud.